Hi everybody, my name is Kyler, aka Yin, and I'm going to be your guide in these tutorials. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is a little bit about me. I have been a Smash competitive player inside of the Ultimate scene for about a year and a half, a little bit over that, and I am a commentator, I am a coach, and I currently coach 3 different people, 2 of whom are my brothers, who we are currently working towards getting them in the top 100 within Utah. And then the other one is a top 20 player inside of the state of Utah, and also a top 5K rule on the Orion ranking. So, to say the least, I have done some coaching that has done well, for the past couple of months. Oa may disagree, but I would hope that considering what we have talked about has helped him. I would hope he would call me a good coach. But that's enough about me. Let me talk about what this series is going to do, where it's going to start, and where I want it to get. First of all, today we're going to talk about some very beginner stuff. First, we're going to talk about controls, control scheme, and the 3 things I recommend every player have on their controls. And then we're going to talk about overview of Smash Ultimate, how it works, as well as some of the specific tech things that you might need to know, tumble, DI, SDI, and then how startup and landing lag works, and some other things. So, if you're a returning player, you probably don't need any of this. Feel free to skip this video. Now, if you are looking to get into the competitive scene, I would recommend watching this, as there may be some nuanced things that you just weren't aware of, and maybe a little bit of strategic things. So, anyways, now, as for the rest of the series, we will be doing some movement stuff, basic and intermediate movement. We will be talking some more specific play styles that you can learn and apply, and hopefully much more, maybe even some character specific stuff, combos, and who knows, maybe if you guys enjoy it enough, we'll make this into a full-blown thing where we do it quite often. So, but without further ado, let's talk about controls. Alrighty, so first things first when it comes to controls. Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room. Not everyone is going to have a GameCube controller. It's honestly not necessary. I prefer it, as well as many pro players prefer it. But there's a lot of players who still use a typical pro controller. For example, if I'm not mistaken, Wadi, who is top 20, top 30 in the world, uses a pro controller. Oa, the person who I coach, who's a top 20 player in the state and one of the best K rules in the world, uses a pro controller. And I've met many others who use it to great success. So now, lucky for you, the tips that I'm going to include don't require a GameCube controller. The first thing that I'm going to recommend is jump on a trigger or a bumper. Okay? Now, the reason why this is important is something that we'll talk more about inside of the beginner movement guide, and that's short hopping. Okay? You'll see inside of the controls over there, I hit 2 jump buttons to go ahead and short hop, and we'll talk more about short hopping and its uses inside of the beginner movement, but I just recommend having that that jump on side one of the triggers or bumpers, just for ease of access when it comes to short hopping later on. Next thing, let's talk about tilt stick. Okay, now tilts are very good in this game. They have very low lag and come out very quickly. So this is going to allow you to better utilize tilt sticks tilts, as a lot of the times when you are running up, you're going to accidentally smash attack, and meanwhile you get that tilt to negate it. Okay, as well as alongside that, there is a specific tech that I will teach inside of the intermediate movement that requires you have tilt stick. Okay, now the third and final thing I recommend is turn stick jump off. I will 99% guarantee stick jump is not going to help you. Okay, there are 2 reasons why this often becomes a detriment. The first is up air. A lot of people, including myself, even though you may use tilt stick for up air, it feels nice to use that up stick for up air, or for up tilt sometimes, and so you'll accidentally jump and get up air if you're trying to do tilt, or if you are already in the ground or already in the air and you go for up air, you might accidentally use your double jump, and 1, that can make you miss your opponent completely, and 2, that can make you get punished for it, and if you just used your double jump, you could be off stage without a double jump. And that can be a big detriment, as there are often times you will die at below 40% for not having a double jump. I myself constantly abuse that sort of thing, where I focus on edge guarding with a lot of my characters, and so if I get someone off stage and they don't have a double jump, I will oftentimes kill them at 30, 20, 40%. So those are the three things I recommend. Now let's talk about a little bit about the game. Alright, let's talk about some of the basics of this game, okay? First of all, I'm going to assume that you aren't some newbie, some complete scrub when it comes to the game, and so I am going to gloss over some points. These points that I'm going to gloss over are fairly common among videos. For example, you could look up, there's a lot of videos with glossaries of what different things mean. For example, end lag and startup. I'm just going to assume you understand what those are, okay? Now, this game runs at 60 frames per second, which means basically nothing for a fighting game in that perspective. What does mean something is, let's say, Tekken, okay? Very common fighting game, and about the fastest moves come out in 20 frames. Runs at 60 frames per second, so that's about 1/3 of a second. Ultimate, on the other hand, the slowest moves typically come out at maybe frame 20. So, that being said, you want your moves to come out quite quickly, and there are a lot of moves that do it. For example, Pikachu Jab comes out frame 2, back air comes out about frame 4, if I'm not mistaken. Zero Suit Samus's Jab comes out frame 1, Luigi Cyclone frame 1. There's a lot of moves that come out very, very quickly in this game. So that's important to know. This is a very fast-paced game, and there's a lot of people who feel the need to mash aerials, to mash tilts, because they think, oh, they come out fast, let me just hit them with a barrage, okay? And that is why shielding becomes so important, okay? Shielding, for several reasons, is really good. First of all, it adds extra end lag to moves. For example, Pikachu forward air gets 10 to 9 extra frames of end lag when it hits shield, okay? And then, of course, the obvious one being you avoid getting hit, which is also why grab becomes so good, okay? Now, that being said, of course, you have spot dodge, roll. I'm not going to cover a lot of that. As said, I assume you know how to play this game at the very base level. At the very base level of casual, of course, you know. Let's talk about end lag versus landing lag and auto-canceling, okay? A lot of moves in this game auto-cancel, okay? When it comes to aerials. What that means is if you land with it, it'll cancel. For example, Wolf back air. You'll see it takes quite a long time for the normal end lag of this move. Meanwhile, if I go ahead and land with it, I can have basically no end lag and finish it much quicker. So that's going to be a very important thing to note. We'll talk, once again, much more about that in basic movement when we address short hopping and fast falling. But those are the basic things that you need to know. Now, let's go ahead and talk about DI, okay? Now, DI is something that happens when you get sent into tumble, okay? Every move you take knockback from, and when it reaches a certain point, you'll go into tumble, okay? You'll notice when she hits the ground, she lands on her back, okay? Now, if a move doesn't send you into tumble, you won't land on your back. Instead, you'll land on your feet. Now, DI is directional influence, okay? This basically means whenever you get hit by an attack, you can change how far you are sent. So, for example, let's take Rosalina here. About 80%. Wolf forward smash, mid-stage, almost kills if she's DIing up and away. Okay? And up and away is what we call combo DI. Okay? Combo DI, the whole purpose of it is to get yourself out of combos. It gives you more knockback. Okay? And sends you farther. Meanwhile, down and in, the kind of DI that you would want to use in the scenario that you're getting hit by Wolf up forward smash, doesn't send as far. Notice how it almost doesn't kill. Okay? Now, different moves have different amount of DI that you could apply to them, but the important thing to know is DI down and in towards stage and towards the opponent when you get hit by a move that kills, DI up and away when you get hit by a move that is not going to kill and probably is going to combo. Okay? Now, how it works, let's talk about DI a little bit in the nerdy way, okay? DI works as long you can DI any move as long as you don't get sent straight up, straight down, okay, and in about a 15-degree cone. Now, what it does is if you hold up, you'll receive more knockback. If you hold down, you'll receive less. And then there are several different angles that DI can send you at. Okay? Now, if you hold, for example, ZSS would be the best one to show you that. Okay? Now with ZSS, and I'll explain it while I'm going through into the game. ZSS, boost kick. Okay, her up B, sends at a very diagonal angle. So, if my opponent DIs in, they're going to go much more vertical. Okay. Meanwhile, if they DI out, they're going to go much more horizontal. Okay. And I'll show you that here real quick. Alright, so we've got up and in set. So you'll notice, hit him with boost kick, he goes fairly horizontal. Now, if I hit him again, we should DI in, and a lot more vertical there. So that's the thing to keep in mind. Diagonal sending moves are a little bit harder to know how to DI, but that's how DI works, and that's the important thing to know. Next up, we're going to talk about SDI, and then we are going to talk about tech chasing. Let's talk about SDI. Now, SDI is short for Smash Directional Influence. Okay, I don't know why it's called Smash DI instead of just a different name. Sounds weird, but we'll take it. Now, the key to Smash DI is, first of all, you have to move your stick within a 15 degree area, or 10 degree, 15, something like that. Basically, you hold the direction that you want to go, and then you move the stick back and forth in that general direction. Okay? Now, what this does, this is very important for multi-hits. Okay? And I'll go to frame by frame to show you. Let me go ahead and hit this poly with back air. So, let's say poly gets hit by back air. You'll notice this wave right here. That means she's using SDI, okay? And what that is going to do is it's going to move her throughout this back air, okay? And she's going to start moving quite farther in to the back air. So if you hold up and away, you'll start moving farther that way, okay? And so it's very important to know what way to SDI certain moves at like top level, if we're being honest here. I mostly just put this in here so that you would know and understand what it was. For the most part, I don't even see it within PR level. These are the top 10 of the state, and I don't see all of them use it. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of what it was. That way you can kind of have it in mind if you wanted to learn it and how to do it. So now, next up, we're going to talk about tech chases. Tech chases are extremely volatile if the opponent doesn't know how to tech. Now, as we mentioned earlier, tumble, you get sent into it whenever you take so much knockback. Okay. Now, a tech chase, when they miss the tech, you can jab them and reset their animation to hit them with another move. And you can hit that jab twice, or some other moves. For example, you'll see Joker players use their gun, their neutral B, to do the exact same thing. And this just allows you to go ahead and get a follow-up. Like right here, I get this kill off of down smash. Okay? Or just barely short. Now, if they hit the tech though, which all you have to do to hit a tech is hit shield right as you're about to hit the ground. Okay? Let's say they hit the tech. They have a couple of different options. Okay? They can roll inwards, roll outwards, or they can go ahead and tech in place. Roll in, roll out, tech in place. See? There's a tech in place. boom, right off the ground. And if I go to jab, I'm going to miss. Okay? Let's see them roll in. Boom. Roll out. Nah, didn't want to roll out apparently. But you get the picture. They have a lot of options. Okay? And it makes this very volatile. Okay? So that's how teching works. And we're going to go ahead and move on to stage spikes. The last thing we're going to talk about is stage spikes. Okay, now DK is by far the easiest character to hit these with, just because he has a fun little cargo throw. Okay, and I hope, I guess maybe not all of you know what cargo throw is. Basically, that's his forward throw. Okay, so we're gonna set Charizard here to not tech. Okay, and when I grab him and I forward throw, and I go ahead and I throw him into the stage, he hits the stage and he dies. Given I died too, but that's just because I messed up. Now, let's say Mr. Squirtle here, though. Okay? The nice thing about stage spikes, unlike normal spikes, those meteor smashes, you can tech when you hit the stage. So, let's go ahead, grab Squirtle. Come here, little buddy. Oh, or maybe not. I guess Ivysaur. Ivysaur gets to tech. And boom! Techs it and lives and gets back on stage. And so as long as you tech it, you don't die. So that's basically what stage spiking is, and the fact that you can tech it. Thank you guys for watching. Next video that's going to be out is going to be basic movement, so make sure to check that out. And give me anything that you want, any recommendations, any requests inside of the chat down in the comments below. Go ahead, like, subscribe if you enjoyed it. I mean, I really do appreciate the support. Goal is to grow this channel as much as possible, and I mean, as long as everybody enjoys it, I would love to keep doing these videos. So anyways, have a good one.